Grayson Rodriguez with some sort of injury, sidelined for now. Andrew Kittredge with some sort of injury, sidelined for now. And Tyler O'Neill, sidelined for now. All of this is concerning. It started out as a very quiet spring, and now all of a sudden it is not quiet with these injuries. We don't know the extent of them yet. I am going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the next man up, why I believe the Orioles can weather some injuries. And finally, I'm going to give you my keys of the two guys that I think can have huge impact should the Orioles have some more major injury problems as we move forward. We're going to go through all of it. Please like and subscribe, do all the things. Follow us because we're just getting started and opening day is just a few weeks away. Let's get to it, my friends. And I want to start with this Dan Clark tweet, which we're going to go through. It's pretty simple. It's pretty clear. I take issue with Dan's opinions at the end, which I'm going to get to, but let's go through the injuries. You have Grayson Rodriguez with the tricep. Best case scenario, it is just tricep soreness. Worst case scenario, this is an elbow issue. We know his mechanics were off. His velo was down. We're hoping for the best, but as of right now, Grayson Rodriguez is sidelined. Gunnar Henderson, probably the most minor of all of these injuries with that rib. Can he be ready for opening day? Most likely, yes. The issue is going to be how quickly can he get back into spring games and get those reps that he's going to need in order to be in that opening day lineup. Andrew Kittredge, the knee, this is extremely concerning. I don't want to overblow it, but this is the high leverage guy in the bullpen. This is the guy that you went out and got to shore up that bullpen leading up to Félix. And Kittredge is out. As of right now, he's shut down with this knee. No timetable for return. Tyler O'Neill, to me, extremely concerning. Teams calling it ribcage soreness, scratched from the latest game. Right now, no timetable to return. The reason why I'm so concerned is because, as we're going to talk about in a minute, he is often injured and he needs to stay healthy. Everybody obviously needs to try and stay healthy, but O'Neill has a history of not being healthy. He needs to be healthy. Jordan Westburg's going to be back very soon. His back issue was attributed to the mattress in his Airbnb. No concern there. Westy will be back very soon. Now, Dan Clark says, while none are of huge concern yet, the Orioles have some injury concerns this spring. I actually am concerned with a couple of these, especially Tyler O'Neill and Kittredge and Grayson, and I'm going to explain why. But Dan says the roster depth isn't there to cover it. That's where I take issue. We actually have a very deep roster, and I'm going to get to the next man up in a second. But let's get to Tyler O'Neill and why I am concerned there. That graphic obviously was the wrong graphic. Tyler O'Neill. You look at these numbers last year. He appeared in 113 games. He was fairly healthy, and the numbers were amazing. 31 homers, 61 batted in. You know the numbers. You see them. Sure, he strikes out a lot, but he looked good at the plate earlier in the spring. 29-year-old. Here's the issue, though. He's only managed to play in at least 100 games in 2 of his 7 seasons. That is concerning. The issue is, can Tyler O'Neill stay healthy? He's going to need to in order for this Orioles team to have that middle of the lineup power that we are hoping that they have. So the Tyler O'Neill next man up, that's easy. Heston Kjerstad is waiting in the wings. He wants to play. He's shown he can play in the bigs, all of that. So should Tyler O'Neill have to miss some time, Heston's going to step right in. I also think that if Grayson has to miss some time, you're probably going to see Cade Povich step right in. Cade has a couple starts coming up. They're going to be very important, but Suarez has struggled this spring thus far. Although I believe if Cade Povich moves into the rotation, everybody's going to move up one, right? So you'll have Eflin followed by probably Sagano and Morton and Kramer and then Povich, some combination there. Suarez probably then becomes your long man. So I do believe we have some depth there to cover those injuries. Now, let's look at the next man up scenario, though, for some other situations, which is these are the options should Gunnar not be available for opening day. You have Livan Soto, you have Kobe Mayo, you have Emmanuel Rivera, who has shown some pretty good power this spring, Vasquez, Terrin Vavra. I'm a big fan of Vimian Machine. He has been a machine this spring, 8 for 15 at the plate. Of course, this is going to depend, and don't forget Ramon Arias, who can play anywhere. Kobe Mayo has struggled mightily at the plate. He's probably not going to be the guy. Ultimately, though, it's going to come down to if the Orioles want a middle infielder to play short or someone for third, and Jordan Westberg takes Gunnar's position. So that has a lot of question marks. The other question mark in this next man up scenario has to do with Kittredge. So if Kittredge misses time, I propose to you that you could see somebody like a Brandon Young or a Ronzi Contreras taking that spot in the bullpen, not necessarily that high leverage spot, but pushing everybody. So Young has had a really good spring and is a strikeout king. Contreras, too, out of options. He, too, could step in and be the next man up for Kittredge. But what does all this mean? What does all this really mean? It means until we know more about Grayson Rodriguez, and again, if it truly is just the triceps or if it's the elbow as well, if it's the elbow, we could be talking about a much more serious situation. But I propose to you what this all boils down to, especially Kittredge and Grayson, is the importance of Suarez. He struggled this spring. He is going to have to become a guy, whether it's the long relief situation or he goes into the rotation. He is extremely important all of a sudden. Cade Povich, extremely important all of a sudden. And as I've said, since the beginning of spring, Tamayuki, extremely important. Does he become your ace? I think he can. I think he can be an ace in the major leagues. Tell me what you think in the comments. Again, we are going to keep track of all of these injuries. We're keeping a close eye on Grayson. We're keeping a close eye on Gunnar. We're keeping a close eye on Andrew Kittredge. And we're keeping a close eye on Tyler O'Neill as well. We will bring you the latest when we have it. I'm Jon Leibermab. This is Orioles Digest.